Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well here. Welcome to Four Lads, One Red Card. It's a new edition of your favorite podcast, and I'm, of course, joined by my three usual lads, Jotis, Alex, and Darren. How are you guys?
Doing all
Pretty
good.
fine.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
too.
yeah, that's a good news because we have a lot to talk today. Talking, of course, about the Champions League, but we have lots of different subjects. So before we begin, please don't forget to support us on social media. You can like our content, put a follow, share our content on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, X. Thank you for that. And guys, we have a lot, as I said. So we'll start right now with Europe because that's the main subject, of course, of this podcast. Before we do our brackets, I'm sure everyone is waiting for that. We will quickly review the results of certain playoffs that determine which teams qualified for the Champions League round of 16, because there were a few surprising results. Notably, Bodo Glimt, we talked about it last week, qualifying as Inter Milan. But I think someone too was a bit nervous last week. Darren, Galatasaray came close to a comeback against Juventus, a kind of remontada, we can say. And the score was 3-2 to Juve after extra time. Can you explain us what happened during that game? And did you think at the time that it was over for your team?
First of all, I think we didn't have a very bad start at the beginning of the game because at the very early minutes, I think it was like in the middle ground. Both Galatasaray and Juventus were trying to get control of the game. But after like the first 10 minutes, the power shift completely changed towards Juventus and they started dominating the game. They found a goal, which was all, of course, at that moment, I was like, okay, it's 1-0, nothing serious. But at the beginning of second half also they started really really strong too. The red card that they got gave everyone on the Galatasaray side a big relief because everybody thought that it was over. I mean, 10 men against 11 men and they need two more goals to go to extra time. Everyone thought that was impossible, but I don't know how we somehow just bottled it and managed to get scored two more goals by 10 men, which was a complete disaster in my opinion. I mean, there is no single explanation of conceding two goals against 10 men Juventus in that situation. They couldn't even attack, like they weren't even supposed to attack against 11 men, but we somehow just decided to park the bus and let Juventus attack us with 10 men, and they found two more goals. And at 3-0, like you said, most of the people, including me, thought it was over.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, it was full chaos. Everyone was tweeting like, it's over. This is the biggest disaster in Turkish football history, the biggest embarrassment, losing against 10 men and stuff. But at the extra time, of course, 10 men Juventus got tired because it's not easy to play against 11 like that. And they already scored three goals. So while they were trying to score four goals, they were like constantly moving towards the other side of the pitch, then running back. And all that running, all that energy spent got them tired. So after that, Galatasaray managed to score one back. And after 3-1, it was like you felt that it was over because you had
Yeah.
no chance to score two more goals in the overtime to win it. And then the second goal that made it 3-2 sealed the deal. But it's still a big disappointment, in my opinion, because I mean, how can you bottle a three-goal lead like that, even though it's an away game? You shouldn't have done that, especially against 10 men. And seeing that actually demoralized me and demotivated me for our potential chance against Liverpool as well. I mean, if you cannot hold a 3-goal difference score against Juventus, what are you going to do against Liverpool? I mean, you beat them once and now they're going to play even harder because they want revenge. So I don't see that much chance for Galatasaray to go through Liverpool, but we will talk about that when we talk about the
Sure.
brackets. Well, yeah, kind of a disappointing game. I'm just glad that we didn't bottle that at the end.
Yeah, that was a crazy night. You remember last week I said that a French journalist said that Juventus was going to score three goals but not qualified, and we all laughed at this prediction because it doesn't make sense. And that's exactly what happens. That's crazy because this man was right. And I
Yeah.
also read, like, of course, tweets saying that Galatasaray did that on purpose because they were all betting on that result, and then when they considered the
Okay.
three goals, they scored just
Pay
after.
Osimhen's salary.
My God.
Exactly. But yeah, still the good news is that Gala is qualified for the round of 16. That's a good thing because in overall they managed to beat Juventus, and that's the great point. There was also a kind of unexpected result. Atalanta also made a big impression by beating Dortmund 4-1 in the second leg. Alex, last week I remember you were talking about how difficult it is for an Italian team to succeed in Europe. We were talking about what happened in the Italian football recently, especially in Champions League and in the knockout stages. Now, Atalanta, I think, is the only Italian team to have qualified for the round of 16. So that's the only good news for Italia. Without mentioning their upcoming matches against Bayern Munich, Alex, what do you think makes this team like a bit different from the others, enabling them to qualify and play good and attractive football in this competition? Do you think it's pure like what happened to Atalanta? Do you think they're a better team than the others, or just they have something more that night?
Atalanta are not exactly better than Inter, for example. Inter have a far more superior side and squad overall. But I think Atalanta has grown as a club overall in the past decade. They had the amazing era with the current Roma manager Gasperini. I almost forgot his name for a second. He won them their first European trophy, and even after his departure, the club has maintained that status of a giant killer, of a team that is difficult to play against, and that should be an example for other teams that end the cycle. If a manager leaves after a long time, we all know it's difficult to replace that manager. Atalanta were successful. They hired that first Ivan Juric, who got relegated with Southampton, and I didn't understand that decision at first. He got sacked because Atalanta were in a bad position, and they signed this new young manager. Forgot his name. To my I apologize to him, but I forgot his name. He's a very young manager. He didn't have much experience before coaching Atalanta.
Aladino.
Yeah, Paladino, exactly.
Yeah.
He worked the miracles because it's a miracle that they managed to knock out Dortmund. We always say about Dortmund
Hmm.
that they have like this special aura for the Champions League, and they managed to
Yes.
do some special. They managed some special nights in the Champions League, and yeah, it's just the way the club has grown, and I hope it can continue. Like Atalanta is an amazing team to watch.
Yeah, that's right. They are always doing great things, especially offensively. I remember even 6 years ago during the final eight against PSG, they
Yeah,
were kind
almost
of an
knocked out
incredible
the
team with Gasperini and yeah. So every time they managed to have success in a European competition, won the Europa League recently too. So congratulations to them. Let's continue quickly with the other results we haven't talked about. Of course, it concerns PSG and Real Madrid. That was quite electric during those two games. PSG once again struggled against Monaco. It ended in a draw 2-2 at the Parc des Princes. So kind of a bad result for PSG to not manage to win, especially with another red card for Monaco, one red card during the first leg and one red card during the second leg. And it's fair to say that these events played into PSG's hands as they failed to dominate their opponents after these two matches. So I'd say it's a very mixed bag for me. Of course, I'm happy with the qualification, but I think the qualification is normal when PSG plays against Monaco. But from what I saw, the defensive mistakes, the less domination than the previous years, and also the effects on the pitch when you Kvaratskhelia, when you watch the midfield, when you watch the also the defenders, you see that PSG players and maybe the manager is kind of tired, and I hope it's gonna work after that. But I have serious doubts about the European champions. So let's see. To finish, also Real Madrid also struggled a bit against Benfica, going 1-0 down quickly, but then also quickly catching up with their opponents and then win the game 2-1. Jotis, did you have any doubts during the match, or you were confident that Real Madrid would qualify at the end?
When they scored the first goal, I wasn't too sure. I mean, coming into the match, I was really confident, but as soon as they scored, I was doubting it a bit. But then we stepped up and then scored two and then won the game and qualified. But again, we don't look as strong as we used to be, especially in Champions League. So no matter what happened in La Liga, we always stepped
Yeah.
up into Champions League. I don't see that level of game or that level of spirit among the players anymore. So yeah, it's something to wait and see how far we'll go in this competition.
Yeah, kind of same feelings shared between PSG and Real Madrid. Like it missed something. Those teams missed something. I don't know where. I don't know how to fix it, but they doesn't bring so much confidence on the pitch, and yeah, it reflects with the results they get. Guys, it's time, sorry, to turn our attention to the upcoming fixtures. We talked about what happened before. Now let's talk about what happened in the future of this Champions League. Let's watch first the round of 16 fixtures. Yes, here they are. The round of 16 will kick off next week, next Tuesday, and there are some very exciting matches in store. You can see that. Without predicting winners or making any predictions, Darren, which fixture are you most looking forward to? I think Galatasaray against Liverpool for sure, but is there any other fixture you're excited to watch?
The first one, like you said, Galatasaray versus Liverpool for sure. But for me, the second one is going to be Paris versus Chelsea. Some people might be expecting to hear Real Madrid versus City, but personally, I got bored of that fixture. Every single year, we see the same thing. So Paris versus Chelsea is more interesting for me because Paris Saint-Germain and Luis Enrique especially is a team that likes to play with possession of the ball, and Chelsea on the other hand, I think they are better in transition. So one team good off the ball, one team good with the ball. I'd like to see the outcome of that game.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Of course, that PSG Chelsea is like kind of exciting. Alex, do you have any other fixture you're excited to watch? I'm sure that you want to, of course, support Barcelona against Newcastle, but tell us about other ones.
I mean, Darren had a very good shout with PSG against Chelsea. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how that game comes around. I agree with the fact that everybody is bored with Real Madrid versus City, but at the same time, I like this fixture. I mean, I don't care if they met again, but I will also look forward to Atletico versus Tottenham. And hear me out. I believe Spurs can knock out Atletico Madrid. I don't know why. I don't know how. I just have a feeling that they might get knock out Atletico Madrid, and depending on the draw, who are they if they get past Atletico, who can they play next? I think Barcelona. Or the winner between
Yeah,
Barcelona and Newcastle. Okay, so yeah,
exactly.
their road will end in the quarterfinals, but I can see them knocking out Atletico. It's so imagine if they get relegated and also at the same time get the Champions League quarterfinals. It's
Yeah.
gonna be like something unprecedented in the history of football.
Same story. Do you feel bored, or or are you still excited to see those kind of clashes between those two big teams?
No, I'm always excited to see Real Madrid, Man City. I mean, I'm never bored because the thing is they are still two of the best teams in the league, and they always, whenever they play, the football is never boring. It's always exciting, always danger around the corner. Some of the best players in the world against some of the best players in the world. So, it's always a fixture that I look forward to. Again, both teams are not at their best at the moment. Both teams are not as sharp as they used to be. But still, when it comes to Champions League and it's round of 16, it's an important game for both of them, and there's home advantage for each game. So, a fixture that I'm really looking forward to, even though we've seen that over many years. But yeah, really excited about this.
There's also something I heard this morning, really interesting, that except that this clash between those two teams is very exciting because, as you mentioned, these are two of the best teams of the world in the recent years. It's also the fact that each Real Madrid and also Man City has a lot to lose with this encounter. Imagine Man City losing in the round of 16 against Real Madrid, and last year losing against Real Madrid in the playoffs. That will be the first time Pep Guardiola lose two times in a row before the quarterfinals. So that can be a huge disappointment for Man City. And also, in the same time, Real Madrid losing in the round of 16 after losing in the quarterfinals last year will provoke a kind of disgration or a bad mood for Real Madrid. So I think if you win that game, because those are two big games, that's incredible. But you're just, like, let's say, just qualified to the quarterfinals. But if you lose that game, that will have lots of consequences for the losing teams. I'm very excited for that game. PSG Chelsea 2, of course. And I think that this Newcastle against Barcelona will reserve lots of surprises. We'll see that during our brackets. I'm feeling something maybe different than you guys on this predictions. So we're obviously going to follow with what we're most looking forward to in this podcast. The four lads one record bracket for the Champions League final phase. So to explain, we've each predicted our matchups until we reach our final winner for the 2026 edition. There are indeed a few surprises, and spoiler alert, we've all chosen a different winner. So, guys, in the comments, if you watch this podcast, feel free to let us know what you think and who you agree with most. Let's start with Jyotis' bracket, which will be displayed shortly. Jyotis, tell us a little about your thinking and your predictions.
Here we go.
So I've went with the most unbiased bracket here. Anyone with proper real ball knowledge would agree with me on this.
It's the most unrealistic one.
As always, this is completely based on facts and numbers, and yeah, you can trust me. So if you want to bet your money on this, yeah, do it. So Paris Liverpool, I mean PSG Liverpool, it'll be, of course PSG, and then Real Madrid. Wait, there's something wrong with this. Is it?
No, they don't show the
Yeah, they
round
done
of
for the round of
They
16.
don't do the round of 16. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They start in the
Yeah.
quarterfinals.
Okay, so PSG Chelsea is PSG. There's that. French City is obviously Real Madrid, and then Barcelona Newcastle, Barcelona. Then Arsenal Leverkusen is Arsenal, and then Bodo Glimt is who is Bodo Glimt facing?
Sporting.
Sporting. Bodo
Sporting.
is Bodo Glimt, and then Atleti Tottenham is Atleti, unless Alexis weird prediction comes true. Well, let's see. And then, of course, PSG Liverpool is PSG, and then Real Madrid Munich, Real Madrid Bayern. I mean, even though Bayern is as strong as they are, Real Madrid, when they step up to this competition, we're different. So yeah, Real Madrid there, and then Barcelona Atleti, Barcelona, just because I want to see Barcelona in the final so we can beat them. Bodo Glimt Arsenal. Even though I do want Bodo Glimt to win, I don't think they can. I think the best they can get to is the quarterfinals. Unfortunately, I don't think they can go any further. And then, yeah, in the semi-final lineup, it's pretty straightforward. Arsenal, I don't think they can beat Barcelona. They're good. And if they play the kind of football that they played against Brighton on the weekend, I don't know what they can do. They could stop Barcelona, but I think Barcelona is still going to go ahead and then be in the final, and it's a Clásico in the final, and that's only going to turn out one way. So yeah, Real Madrid would be your 2025-2026 Champions League winner.
All right.
Bro.
5 minutes ago, you were saying Real Madrid were not performing good in the Champions League this season, and now you're saying they're gonna win the Champions League.
This is
Complete U-turn.
They're going to win the Champions League by beating Man City, Bayern Munich, PSG, and then Barcelona. So the best Champions League ever, right?
Real Madrid always surprises you, so this is a surprise.
Bro, the fate of this man for Real Madrid. But guys, find a girl who has faith in you as Jyotis has in Real Madrid.
That's
The biggest advice I can give to our viewers and listeners.
I mean, last time Real Madrid faced PSG in a semi-final, it ended quite miserably for Real Madrid. So, at the Club World Cup. So yeah, good luck with that.
But the last time Real Madrid met PSG in a Champions League, if I'm not wrong, Ronaldo scored a brace.
But that was back when Real Madrid were playing with 12 men on the pitch. Yeah, and PSG were not as strong. They are still playing with 12 men.
Yeah. But Jyotis, remember also, I don't know why I'm saying this because that's a really bad memory, but Real Madrid also beat PSG during Benzema's amazing Champions League in 2022.
Oh,
You
yeah.
remember
yeah.
that game when they scored 3 goals at the end? Yeah.
Yeah,
Donnarumma.
Donnarumma fucked it up.
Fucking Donnarumma. Exactly. So yeah, Darren, you were saying that you have to find a like people have to find a girl that face in you as the Jot's face in Real Madrid. But
True.
I'm not sure about that. But I know someone that face in his club also with this level of intensity. Alex, let's let's go with your bracket and let's see who you're gonna place as a winner. I think maybe there's a surprise or not. We're gonna
Who
see
can it
it.
be?
Who can it be? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Bodo Glimt. All right, Alex, there you go.
I mean, it's pretty much the same as Jotis. Look, I forgot that I said Real Madrid will beat Bayern. Oh yeah, but yeah, that's actually
Hmm.
true. But look, I put Tottenham. Yeah, I have a feeling, guys. Like I have a feeling Tottenham will knock Atletico Madrid out. This would be the wildest prediction yet of the tournament because remember, I was the one that said Bodo Glimt would knock out Inter. So
That's right.
Yeah, true.
yeah, I mean, Liverpool should beat Galatasaray and PSG will beat Chelsea, so they will meet in the quarterfinals. PSG is going through. Real Madrid will beat Man City, I think, and Bayern will go through, and they will get beaten by Real Madrid. Barca is going through. Tottenham is beating Atletico, in my opinion. I don't know why. And they are making it to the quarterfinals. And then Bodo Glimt here I might change a little bit. I think Bodo Glimt will get knocked out by Sporting, and we can probably see Arsenal against Sporting, but it doesn't matter. So semifinals are the same for me and
Yeah.
Jotis, from what I can see. But
See, good ball knowledge.
sorry.
Good ball knowledge.
Yeah, but I don't see the same outcome from those semifinals. I
Hmm.
see Barcelona beating Arsenal as you did, but I don't see PSG losing to Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid will PSG is the only team out of this, like on that part of the bracket that can stop Real Madrid. And the final between PSG and Barcelona is the final that should have been played last year. And we will be better prepared this year and we will beat PSG in the final.
Okay, interesting, guys. Any thoughts? As you said, you have the same semifinals as Jotis, but not the same results. Darren, just saying that, do you think that because Jotis and Alex put Barcelona in the final,
Mhm.
will not spoil your bracket? But do you think Barcelona today has the capacities and the qualities to reach this UCL final? And also, given the tape that they have kind of a good draw compared to some other teams, right?
In quality wise, they sure have the quality to reach the final, but in
Hmm.
capacity and in performance, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
It depends. I mean, if they play like they did in the first leg against Atletico, they will lose to Newcastle. But if they play like they did in the return leg,
Yeah,
they can win the competition. It's
true.
and it's a matter of also like details, luck. If they have everybody fit, they might have a chance to make it to the final. I mean, the only real opponent would be
Yeah.
Yeah.
they can meet in the semifinal. It depends also if, for example, Pedri and Rafinha would not be available for a potential semifinal against Arsenal. You can put your money on Arsenal to win 3-0 at the Emirates or something like that, and the tie is over. It depends also if they have all the players available. Because, for example, Arsenal, even though they might also face injuries, they have a much bigger
Yeah.
squad overall, and
Mhm.
the quality of the Arsenal reserve is much, much better than the Barcelona reserves. They have like six quality center backs and seven midfielders. They have overall, I mean, the depth, the squad depth and everything. Arsenal, I think they have the best squad in the world. But yeah, so I think this is also how they manage to go all the way this season and be competitive in all the competitions because don't forget they will play also the League Cup final against City. So
Hmm.
yeah, it also depends on these circumstances.
Yeah, sure. Jotis.
No, I mean now that we've seen my prediction and Alex's prediction, one thing is clear is that Arsenal would be in the semi-final most likely because they have an easy bracket, the
Yeah.
easy side of the bracket, which is really scary. What if the semi-final against semi-final is just like this, Barcelona and Arsenal? What about me? Like, who do I vote for? Like, who do I root for? I can't root for Barcelona. I can't root for Arsenal. I mean, who do I choose? Arsenal getting into the final of the Champions League and possibly winning it.
At
I
that
just
point,
cannot imagine the
you
worst
vote
thing.
for a missile being launched from Iran, so the game just stopped and doesn't
Oh
get
my
played.
God.
I mean, it's possible at the current circumstances.
Yeah.
I mean, anything can happen, but that semi-final, man, that is a stuff of nightmares. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It really
that's
is.
true. Also, something that if your and Alex's prediction are good for that part of the table, either Barcelona or Arsenal would be in the final. 20 years ago, in 2006, the final was Barcelona against Arsenal. I don't know
Yeah.
if we can see
Yeah.
some signs about that. Maybe Barcelona will win Champions League also 20 years before, or Arsenal will win its first Champions League. I don't want to say that I'm going to vomit. Yeah, let's let's say that we can see some signs. But yeah, you're right to say that
It would be
it's
too
gonna
much.
be strange. It will be too much.
No,
Exactly, too
I
much.
mean,
That's too much.
yeah, they will win the Premier League, but I don't have as much hate on Arsenal as other people have. Like, I
I
find it,
don't.
yeah, yeah, I find it funny how people like blame Arsenal for winning tight games in the Premier League like they did against Brighton. But when Mourinho did
Mhm.
it with Chelsea 20 years ago, they said he was the special one
Special
and
one.
winning is all that
Yeah.
matters. But why, if Arsenal are doing it right now, why is it a problem?
But you know what my problem is with Arsenal? It's the fans. They have the most insufferable fan base. I'm telling you. If Arsenal wins the Premier League, they're gonna call Bukayo Saka the best Premier League player
Yeah,
ever.
that's true.
No,
And they're gonna
Saka.
call William Saliba the best defender, better than Maldini. You can't imagine the lengths they would go. The fan base is, I can't stand them.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, what can we say more? I totally agree with Jotis, but yeah, let's not be too much about Arsenal because they will be the job. They will do the job. We don't have to say it. We know that at one point they're gonna do something bad and we're gonna be happy. So let's just
Yeah.
make them play and then we'll see. But yeah, I agree with you, Darren. Let's move on to yours. Your bracket. Here it is. Perfect. Yeah, tell us about it.
Well, let's start with the round of 16 first. So PSG
Mhm.
versus Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea has neither the capacity nor the quality to beat PSG. Of course, they're gonna try, but I don't think so. I think PSG is gonna pass. Liverpool versus Galatasaray. I hate to say it. It breaks my heart to admit it, but I think Liverpool are gonna beat us because um, it's the revenge. It's just like that. We beat them in the group stage, and now they're like more prepared, more focused for this game. I was actually praying to get Tottenham on the fixture instead of Liverpool, but it is what it is. I think Liverpool is gonna beat Galatasaray, especially in the game at the Anfield.
Yeah.
In the home game maybe. But at Anfield, I think it's really, really tough for Galatasaray to beat Liverpool. So yeah, Liverpool versus PSG on the first one. And City versus Bayern Munich. I think Manchester City is gonna beat Real Madrid and surprise everyone. Unlike all of you guys, I think Man City is gonna beat Real Madrid. I mean, we haven't seen Jose's prediction yet, but still, I think Man City is gonna pass there. Bayern Munich, it's the obvious answer. Not much to say about that. Barcelona, of course, they are still in pursuit of that Champions League trophy that they crave for since 2015. So obviously they're gonna beat Newcastle. I don't see Tottenham beating Atleti. In fact, I know Igor Tudor as a manager. He coached Galatasaray. So in order to not, get relegated to championship, I think he might actually like rest some players in the Champions League and go
Oh
do a
my
rotation
God.
against Atletico Madrid so he can beat Nottingham Forest in the league. That's why I think Atletico are going to beat Tottenham without dropping too much sweat. Bodo Glimt, I think they're going to keep on going. After Inter, they're going to beat Sporting as well. Arsenal, obviously for me, they're going to go very far as well. When we take a look at the quarterfinal fixtures, I think PSG can beat Liverpool definitely, even though They are also not at their best right now. I think they are still better than Liverpool for me. Bayern Munich this season is one of the best teams that I like watching. I think Vincent Company is doing an amazing job there, and they have a really, really good team, really in form. So I think they can beat Manchester City. Barcelona, of course, after the Copa del Rey, they have shown what they can do in the second leg of Copa del Rey. And now that Pedri has returned, Rashford is also in the squad. Like Alex said, if Barcelona is fit, I think they can definitely defeat Atletico Madrid once more and get to the semifinals. Bodo Glimt, I think their run comes to an end here because it's like one compact defending team plays against the other compact defending team. So Arsenal is the choice here for me, and they're gonna go to the semifinal. PSG versus Bayern Munich. So this is actually, I think this is gonna be the best matchup of this Champions League season if it happens. Uh, PSG, even last season, PSG were not doing really, really good in the group stage, but they stepped up in the round of 16 and
Yeah.
knockouts, the other knockout stages. So I think they're gonna do something similar. But Bayern Munich, on the other hand, like I said, they are doing an amazing job as well. So for me, this is gonna be the best match. But I think Harry Kane and his teammates are gonna be the one to reach the final. Barcelona versus Arsenal. When I look at this game, I'm kind of seeing like the flashbacks of Inter Barcelona game. But I don't think in Arsenal are gonna concede that many goals. I don't think Barcelona score like 3 goals against Arsenal, and of course Arsenal is not gonna score 4 goals against Barcelona as well. I think we're gonna see a lower score, but for me, at the end of the day, I don't think Barcelona are going to be able to penetrate through that bus that Mikel Arteta parks in front of his goal. So Arsenal are going to reach to the final. Bayern Munich versus Arsenal. I know you're shaking, Jotis, but don't worry. I think Bayern Munich are going to defeat Arsenal and get their Champions League this season.
Yeah, well, interesting. You're saying the two first of the league phase facing in the final. That makes sense because they're like we can say that for now these are the two best teams in Europe right now. But yeah, also seeing the same semifinals as Jotis and Alex between Barcelona and Arsenal. So yeah, quite interesting one. Um, let's go with mine because at first my favorite was also Bayern Munich until recent days, but I had a feeling, and I'm going to share it to you. This bracket
Wow.
is kind of different as yours, but we know that there's always surprises in the Champions League. So yeah, here is mine. I think PSG will qualify against Chelsea, even though it's going to be extremely difficult matches. I'm not sure that PSG will like defeat Chelsea easily. Why? Because as I said, PSG is kind of struggling right now, and I think Chelsea has nothing to lose by facing PSG. And I think the project of Chelsea, this weird version of Chelsea, is to be great in those kind of games, even if they lose in quarterfinals after. The only thing to like beat the European champion will be a good objective for them. So I think they're going to be quite tough to beat. But the fact that what balance, in my opinion, is that Chelsea's central defense and above all their clownish goalkeeper can single-handedly cost his team a game. So I hope Robert Sanchez will. As always, do his job, which means make his team lose. That will be a good news for PSG. So I see PSG qualified against Liverpool in the quarterfinal. I think Liverpool will qualify against Galatasaray, who have had a very good run until now, but I think it's going to be too high for Galatasaray that time. Then the clash of this round of 16, I think Manchester City will qualify against Real Madrid. I find them a bit more stable and balanced than Real Madrid at the moment, and who will certainly be playing without Kylian Mbappe, without Jude Bellingham too, and without Rodrigo. We saw that he will miss the rest of the season and the World Cup. So I think Man City will qualify in the quarterfinal, and of course I see Bayern Munich qualifying against Atalanta. Let's not say easily, but I think they're going to be too strong for Atalanta. On the other side, I predict Newcastle will qualify against Barcelona. That's my hot take on this bracket. As I said, there's always a surprise in these matches, and I think Newcastle has what it takes to maybe eliminate Barcelona. That's not sure, of course, but it won't surprise me if they do. It won't be easy, but if they made the difference in the first leg at home, I think they can really worry them at the Camp Nou and maybe even qualify and then eliminate Barcelona. That can be a surprise, but yeah, that's my take. I also think Atletico will narrowly qualify against the championship side Tottenham. I think it's gonna be tight between them, but yeah, I think they will qualify. Finally, I think Bodo Glimt's adventure will come to an end and that Sporting will qualify. I think we kind of underestimate what Sporting has did in this Champions League, and actually they're in a very good run also in their championship. So I think they can beat Bodo Glimt and qualify to the quarterfinals. That can be a good objective for them. And yeah, Arsenal will obviously qualify against Leverkusen. So then, yeah, quarterfinals, PSG against Liverpool. It's hard to say it, but unfortunately, I think Liverpool will qualify. They will have home advantage in the second leg, and unless PSG undergoes a transformation in the next few days, I don't think they will have enough strength to knock out Liverpool that time. Who will also be giving this competition their all because, as we said, Liverpool might not be in the top 5 of the Premier League, so I think they're gonna do everything they can to reach this Champions League final, and that's why I put Liverpool at this place in this bracket. Then the second quarterfinal, City against Bayern, very difficult to predict. It could come down to small details, but I imagine City will be playing for the last hopes in the Premier League at this point. So I see Bayern qualifying by a narrow margin. Then Newcastle against Atletico Madrid. I think it will be very close again, but I see Atletico qualifying for the semi-finals against Arsenal, of course, who benefited from a favorable draw in this Champions League. It looks like a Conference League draw for Arsenal, so of course they're gonna reach at least the semi-finals. And then, in my opinion, in the semi-final, that is the like you said, PSG against Bayern Munich. Therein, this Liverpool against Bayern Munich for me will be the winner of these two games will be the winner of the Champions League. But I had a feeling that Liverpool might beat this Bayern Munich side. I can't explain why, but yeah, as I said, they will do everything to reach that final because they might not qualify in the next Champions League if they're not in the top 5 of the Premier League. So yeah, honestly, until a few days ago, Bayern were my favorites for this Champions League. But yeah, I have this feeling, and I think Liverpool are going to do something this season. And then I see them qualifying for the final against Arsenal. That they will eliminate Atletico Madrid in the semi-final. So it will be at the end an all-English final, which might be a bit boring, like 2019 final. You remember that terrible final. But at the end, I can see Liverpool and Arne Slot winning the Champions League and doing as well as Klopp did in 10 years at Liverpool. Klopp can do it in 2 seasons, so I'm curious to see it. And yeah, so my final winner will be Liverpool. That's all for me.
I mean,
Well, hey, to be honest.
Interesting.
it's not so far away from reality. I mean, it's not at all. If you are thinking deeper into it, it's not at all. I mean, Liverpool winning the Champions League in a season in which they are horrible in the league, it's not something that hasn't happened before. In 2005, when they came back to beat Milan in the final in Istanbul, they finished like 5th in the league or something. And it happened with Chelsea before also. In the 2 seasons in which they won the Champions League, they were horrible in the league as well.
Yeah.
My only thing would be with Newcastle against Barcelona. Then let's say Atletico can knock out Barcelona. But one thing about Barcelona that can be like an extra thing in comparison to last year is the fact that this season they play their home games at the Camp Nou.
Yeah.
And this season, since they have returned to the Camp Nou, they have won every single game played at the Camp Nou, no matter the competition. So they are very, very strong at home. And this might be like the difference maker, for Barcelona this season.
Sure.
This is why I would bet my money on them. But yeah, I see Liverpool winning it. Why not? Why not? And yeah, I see the only objection that I would make is a semi-final between Atleti and between Barcelona and Arsenal. And why not Arsenal
Mhm.
going through? It can happen. So yeah, a final between Liverpool and Arsenal. Why not?
Yeah,
I
well,
mean, if it
I hope
happens,
not because we don't like those kind of like. It's good to see that, but that's not the final we expect, to be honest. But I think this season proved that, except from Bayern Munich, because they're really amazing that season, I'm curious to see how they will manage to get results against really big teams. We remember they lost against Arsenal in the league phase, so let's see.
Yeah,
But except from Real Madrid, I think that. As you said, English teams qualify for the round of 16. That's huge.
yeah,
So of course they're gonna be English teams in the last phases, and I think that maybe this year is gonna be an all English final. Yeah, let's see.
if this
yeah,
happens, at least I have, an excuse. I can say Galatasaray got knocked out by the team who won.
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly, exactly, man. So yeah, well, we of course going to see how it goes and who is the most close to this to the reality. Let's continue, guys. We don't have a lot of time left, but I just wanted
I
us
mean,
to quickly talk about. Yeah, Alice, tell us.
yeah, just
Sorry.
one more thing. Another hot take. If Arne Slot is winning this Champions League, it would be much worse for Liverpool overall because people will think he's a great manager and I think he's a scammer. So, yeah, they will start going down definitely if they win the Champions League. He should be sacked.
That's true. Yeah, yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Let's see. Yeah, guys, I wanted just to talk quickly about the standings and some important matches coming up in Europe this weekend. Just let's start with La Liga, where Real Madrid are failing further and further behind Barcelona. We saw a kind of disastrous game recently against Getafe. I want your opinion on what is going on Real Madrid lately. What are your thoughts and what are your prediction for the rest of the season?
We're just not being we're being very loose as a team. Like we're not being sharp enough. We're not. I mean, to be honest, there's a lot of injuries. Half of the team is out injured. We're not good in the defense. We're sloppy going forward. Yeah, just not looking good at the moment as a team. And then it was a home game, and we couldn't even win
Mhm.
that. And then we're getting unnecessary red cards. We're getting sent off like for silly reasons, and then like the team just doesn't look like look like a team who can challenge for title. Yeah, and when we were ahead in the title race, now we're behind. And we're playing tonight, so I hope we were bouncing back because we have big games coming up, where there's Champions League against City. So yeah, it's just all of the big characters are not on the pitch, so it's a combination of everything. And now below, I don't think he has any clue what he's doing, honestly. So he's just a bit out of his depth. This is not the stage for him, with all due respect. But yeah, I hope we can still keep going and then finish the season on a high note.
Yeah. What shocks me the most by watching Real Madrid recently and in this past games is that, in my opinion, some players that are actually playing in the first 11 has not the level that is demanding from Real Madrid. When you watch Rudiger, who did like every time he plays, that player is a fighter, is not a football player, right? And he
Yeah,
always do crazy things. And I think he doesn't have the level right now to play at Real Madrid. Same with David Alaba. I don't know how much he costs to Real Madrid each year, but in my opinion, he doesn't deserve to play for Real Madrid. Also, you have players like Arda Güler. He's amazing. He has a lot of talent. That's true. But you cannot put everything on him on the midfield by not having other players doing the job. And that's the
yeah,
same situation with Maston Tuono, with Dean Oysen. good and young talents, but in my opinion, when Real Madrid signs player, they have to be the best ones, and they have, even if they're young, they have to have proved everything. I don't know what happened with Oysen. Of course, he's young. He did great season with Bournemouth. We saw great things by his passing touch, his visions, things like this. But he also commit a lot of mistakes. And when you play in La Liga, when you play in the Champions League, you cannot commit that much mistake like this. And also Mastantuono, you pay him a lot of money that summer. Of course, he's young, he has to learn. But in my opinion, that are some mistakes that Real Madrid have done recently to sign players that are not already prepared to the high level compared to previous seasons where they signed players that were already prepared.
Yeah,
True.
I mean,
I
I
can't
agree.
agree more.
The one thing that I wanted to mention is when you watch Real Madrid, it feels like a lot of players just together. It doesn't feel like a team. Like it feels like there are individuals who are capable of great things, but it doesn't function well as a team. Like you look at individuals like Rudiger, even though he's not exactly in his peak right now, but individually he's a good defender. And then if you look at Arda Güler, if you put him in the right environment, I think he's going to do great. Same for Husen. So it doesn't feel like a team, it doesn't click together. And Arbeloa, I don't know if he has the tools in his pocket to do what a Real Madrid manager is supposed to do. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait and see how it unfolds.
Yeah, well, let's see. But yeah, kind of complex and difficult period for Real Madrid. This weekend, also two interesting derbies will take place. The first is in Portugal. We don't have a lot of occasion to talk about that, but Benfica will host FC Porto. Porto is currently leading the league, sorry, 7 points ahead of Benfica, who are in the third place. But I don't know if you noticed, guys, but Benfica has not lost a single league game this season. So that's kind of impressive. Alex, I remember a few weeks ago you told us about Porto's great form this season. What can you tell us about Porto, Benfica, Portuguese championship this season? And do you think that game will be the game for Porto to win the title at the end?
I mean, first of all, it's crazy to see that Benfica is the only unbeaten side in the league and they are like 10 points behind Porto or something like that. It's so crazy. If Porto win, they are not running away with the title because their closest competitor is Sporting, not Benfica. And Sporting can still catch up. It's a crazy, I mean, it's a very, very good league. Three Portuguese side are very, very good. And we also see them almost every season in the Champions League, being capable to put up great performances against big European teams. I think we should just applaud the work these players are doing before they sign for a big club and they just become memes because you are in the center of attention when you play for a big club. Yeah. After you sign for a big club, you just become one of those stars in a league, but it's not more like for you as an individual. It's a big step for you, and of course, you would like to do this step, to make this step, but at the same time, I think it's something football is losing one of the things that used to be more dominant in the past. Like, we are not seeing many underdog stories anymore, or at least not so as often as we used to see in the past, because all these players, as soon as they like somebody catches up the attention, they are signing for another team. I think that in the summer, Porto will lose maybe 3 or 4 players, like crucial players, and that's sad to see, but it's the reality. Money is making the world go round.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, sometimes it can be some disastrous transfer. We remember like Joao Felix, for example, that's the one
Yeah,
that
exactly.
in mind, or even Darwin Nunez. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Felix is so talented because of that price tag. He couldn't like all that pressure
Absolutely.
because of the 127 million. He couldn't. I think the guy couldn't sleep because of that price tag. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that may be true. So yeah, sometimes it's a disaster. Sometimes it's good. Also, I think of Vitinha, João Neves recently
Yeah.
with PSG that are playing really good. So yeah, it depends, of course, on the player, but also on the club and the manager. But interesting derby between like not derby, but between Benfica and Porto. And also another crucial match will take place this time in Italy this weekend, the Milan derby between AC Milan and Inter Milan. Inter Milan are currently well ahead in Serie A with a 10-point lead over AC Milan. Ultimately, this match looked like a little decider for Inter Milan, who, if they win, will be virtually unbeatable in the title race. They already have 10 points ahead, as I said. Darren, do you think that Inter Milan will win that game and then will go through the title easily?
I think Inter can beat Milan. Personally, I don't watch Serie A that much. I've watched a couple of games. I've seen Inter play against Juventus, and in that game, I think Inter put a really, really good performance, really dominant performance. And I think they are on a good track right now, especially after getting knocked out by Bodo Glimt in the Champions League. I think they need to give a huge reaction because winning the league right now is their only priority. And they're on a good way right now. As you said, there's like a 10-point difference right now between them. And I think Inter can seal the deal here. So I'm expecting Inter to win this game against Milan.
Yeah. We talked about Inter previously by saying that, of course, this elimination against Bodo Glimt was kind of hard to accept, but they will focus on the championship. Jotis, do you think that Inter Milan is going to win that title maybe? And also, do you think that they are the way, like the best teams in it, the best team in Italy by far from the competition right now?
I mean, first of all, I don't watch a lot of Serie A, so it's kind of hard to analyze. But from what I've seen, I feel so. I mean, beginning of the year, I said Napoli would be win it again, but looks like
Mhm.
that's not.
Conte
Uh,
in the second season is always a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have positive hopes or something, but yeah, it looks like Inter is way far ahead, and it is. I mean, they're not in the they're not in Champions League anymore, but there's I mean that they can just focus on Scudetto. I mean now, so which makes it a bit easier, I think. So I feel
Yeah.
like they could go all the way and win it again.
Yeah, well, that's crazy to see because, of course, we saw that Inter in the league recently, like, won all of their games. That was kind of crazy, but 10-point leads, like, it's kind of huge right now. And you remember, few months ago, we were talking about how close the championship was in this area between the first place and the fourth or fifth place, between like Inter, AC Milan, AS Roma, Napoli, teams like this, and now Inter has made the difference, and so that's the thing to mention. Guys, we have only few minutes left. I just want to talk a bit about Europa League because we didn't have time to talk about that. So, let's just talk a bit about what happened. Let's remind that. Lyon finished first in the league phase ahead of Aston Villa and the Danish team, Thailand. I'm not sure I pronounce it well, but yeah,
Midtjylland.
Midtjylland.
Yeah.
Yeah, Midtjylland. Thank you. But yeah, just to talk a bit about it, we're also going to have some exciting fixtures in the round of 16 of this competition. We have Celta Vigo against Lyon, Stuttgart against Porto. I think an Italian clash between Bologna and AS Roma, and also the French club Lille against Aston Villa. Guys, simple question: who is your favorite team to win this competition this year? Alex, who do you think will win this Europa League?
I will put my money on Lyon to win the Europa League. I think they can win it.
Yeah, and as a French football expert, you know what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I mean, they have a very good squad. Fonseca proved to be a better manager this season. And the fact that they added Hendrik to their squad gave them a big boost. And I think they can win the Europa League. But at the same time, if they get knocked out, would be like not surprised either because they just lost to Lens in the French Cup quarterfinals. Even though Lens are a very strong team this season, I actually expected Lyon to win, but they didn't. They
Yeah.
lost on penalties. On penalties, it's always like a lottery. The winner is not. If you win on penalties, you can't say that you dominated throughout the whole tie and you are well deserved to go through.
That's true, yeah. Therein, Fenerbahce was eliminated by Nottingham Forest in the playoffs. We saw that. Do you have any favorite team to win that title this year? Do you see someone, maybe an underdog, or do you think it's gonna be one of the best teams qualified in the league phase that will win this competition this year?
I think it's going to be one of the best teams that we have seen. and I think Aston Villa are going to win the Europa League.
Yeah.
Personally, I think they play really, really good. And also in my Premier League predictions, if I'm not mistaken, I remember that I didn't put Aston Villa in the top 4 at the end of the season. And I think if they lose the top 4 spot in Premier League for the Champions League qualification, them winning Europa League is definitely going to be their first priority, because when you win the Europa League, you get into the first pot of the Champions League next season.
Yeah.
That's a huge advantage, and they have the quality to win. I've seen them play in Europa League. They play really, really good. Yeah, personally, I think Aston Villa are going to win it in Istanbul.
Don't
Yeah,
forget they
the
have
final will
also,
be. Mhm.
yeah, don't forget they have Emery, the
Yeah,
Champions League master.
Exactly.
Mr. Europa League.
The Europa
Mr.
League
Europa
master,
League.
sorry.
Yeah, he won like maybe 24 Europa League recently, or I don't know how many, but that's kind of crazy. Justice, do you agree with Darien, or do you have another favorite to win that competition this year?
I was gonna say Aston Villa as well, because
Yeah.
I mean, they had a great run in the Premier League. The last couple of games, yeah, they're not been at the best, but I feel like out of all teams in the in Europa League at the moment, they're by far in terms of quality and in terms of being an elite team. I think they are by far the best. So I feel like if they're on if they're on a good run, if they're on, they're in their best form, I think they could do it, because just because how good they are.
Yeah, well, I think in my opinion, the favorite is between Aston Villa, Lyon, maybe Betis Sevilla, and AS Roma. But the thing is that the draw is much in favor for Lyon, because in their part of the table they just can face Betis in the semi-final before. So yeah, as I said, they're facing Celta Vigo, and if they win, they're facing Genk or Freiburg. I think so, kind of not easy, because we know that French teams, especially in competition like this, can do a really bad thing and bottle it. But I think that's maybe the occasion for Lyon to go to a European final, and then can be great. I think against Aston Villa or maybe FC Porto, because they're doing great teams, as we said. So yeah, let's see what happened. But also interesting fixtures is in this Europa League, and we'll follow it closely. Guys, that's the end of this edition of Fallout's One Red Card. It's been once again a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed what you heard, what you saw. Let's see if you agree with one of us in our brackets. Maybe we can share our different bracket on our social media, so people can say which one is their favorite. So we'll see. Thank you all for watching or listening us to our various platforms. Once again, please feel free to follow us on our social media. It's really important to us. Alex, Darren, Jotis, thank you very much, guys, and see you next week.
Thank you as well. See you next week, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.